Is your HUD missing critical combat information? Do you need to know when your dot or AoE is going to run out? In this video, I'll show you some of the important options you need to turn on to get the most information out of the Elder Scrolls Online. I will take your HUD from this to this. It will give you all the missing information you need for better combat, which may help your rotation and give you better DPS. Plus, I will show you how the different types of loot work and a couple other options to make gameplay a little better. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get to the missing information. Your combat bars and stuff like that. So if I look here, I don't have anything on. Can't really see much of what's going on here. I just see the red bar for him for the shock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under options, combat, okay, and I have my ability bar right here. So if I just do it on automatic, it won't show up till I actually am pointed at something that I can attack. Okay, so if I take it off of him and I come away, it goes away, so it's gone. So put it back on him, and then I go like this, go away, and it disappears. Okay, the other option here is always on. Very simple. The bar is always on. I know what it is. It's right there. Okay, so I know where I am at all times. I know which bar I'm on. It makes it much simpler to deal with. Okay, the next option we're going to look at here is attribute bars. Okay, these are your green, red, and blue bar for your health and stuff. So if I put it on automatic, okay, they don't show up. Now if I sprint, because it uses stamina, we're going to see my stamina bar. Okay, now the magicka, same thing. If I throw a magicka skill, I see my magicka bar. Because I just used magicka, now they disappear when they're not being used. Okay, health will do the same thing. If I get hit, health will appear. Once it gets back to full health, it'll disappear. So I always leave mine on. I want to know where I am at all times. It makes it a little bit easier for me to gauge what's going on. Resource numbers. Okay, so numbers only shows me my numbers. Now, why is that important? There are a couple sets of gear. There could be other things I'm maybe not aware of, but let's say example for the gear. Once it gets below 50% health, okay, so I need to put on my percentages in order to see that. Percent only, or number and percent. Okay, we're going to put number and percent so I can see where I am at all times. Now, with the gear, it's from the Dragon whole DLC, and it is, looking for the gear right now, I forgot the name of it, Ancient Dragon Guard. Okay, when you are above 50% health, it adds 300% or 300 weapon damage and 300 spell damage. When you are below 50%, it adds physical resistance and spell resistance. Okay, so I know if my health is at 51%, I know if I get hit again that it's going to go below 50%, and I know that physical resistance and spell resistance is going to proc. Okay, makes it simple so I know where that is. Okay, the next option we have here that I use is ultimate number. Okay, this shows my ultimate number. So I know if I have an ultimate that at 250 it's ready to use, and I'm not on that bar, I know that I can switch the bar immediately, use it, and then go back to the bar I was if I needed to. I know that ultimate's ready. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is buffs and debuffs. Okay, so it's under combat, scroll down. Okay, so don't show, automatic, or always show. Okay, so automatic, we know what that does. It'll show them as we need it and we don't need them. Okay, but always show. Now, if you look at my screen, I now have the 4 things underneath above my health bar. Okay, so I'll turn it off just so we can see. Maybe we didn't notice it the first time. Okay, there it is. So it's disappeared. So by having this on, I know what buffs, debuffs I have on at all times. I don't have to worry about it. Did I not turn it on? I put it on automatic. Okay, I know what buffs, debuffs I have on at all times on myself. Okay, so if I want to know that something procs, let's say Burning Spell Weave, I want to know that it procs, I can actually see it down here on the bar. My shield, okay, I know it's on Maybe there's too much fire going on or something, but I can always look down at that little bar and see that it's there. See, it's gone now. Now I turn it back on. Okay, so I know that I have my shield up. All right, so the next one we're going to look at here, we're going to scroll down. Okay, this is positive effects. Okay, self buffs, we know what those are. Target debuffs. Okay, this is when we give a target something. Okay, so down here on this, I'm going to give this shock a debuff here. Okay, so I'm going to hit him. There's nothing on the screen yet right now. So if you look at the top shock, there's nothing there. Now I hit him. Okay, I know he's got a debuff. Hit him with a dot and another dot, and there we go. So now this gives me two things. I know when I need to reapply because I have a timer that counts down. So if I hit him with this one here, okay, I know that in 9 seconds I need to reapply. There it is. Keep it going. 5, 4. Okay, 1. Now I know I need to reapply. So I apply it, and there we go. Counts down. So this will help you with your rotation when you need to reapply something. It helps out a lot. It might even increase your DPS. All right, so let's just get rid of him here. There we go. All right, so the next one we're going to look at, from others. Okay, this one is something that you're going to have to get used to. I don't normally use it because what that shows me is that others, well, it'll show their debuffs on also. So if you're in a 12-man group and everybody's got debuffs on the thing, it's going to be huge. Now, it might be helpful in the situation is if you're going to apply the same debuff and it's already maxed out, maybe you won't apply that one. That might be an option, but that's something that you kind of learn and do on your own. Okay, long effects. These are longer than 1 minute. For trying to think of one off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but anything that lasts longer than a minute. Okay, and then permanent effects. Okay, so if I go back to my screen, these are all permanent effects right here. Okay, that you can see except for the food. So if I turn that off, I should only see my food left. So that's something if you want to know what Mundus you're using, that's kind of a personal choice. So if you want to know what Mundus you're using at all times, you can leave that on or off. But for me, it doesn't bother me to leave it on. It's only an extra 3 things there. Let's say you have a bear. You can see if the bear is active or not. Just stuff like that. Makes it much easier when you have these buffs and debuffs on. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is under social. Okay, the chat display. Okay, if you don't want to see the chat, you just turn it off and on here. So if you look at the bottom right hand corner, you now see the chat bubble. Before we didn't have that, so let's turn it off. And there it is. So now the chat won't actually pop up on my screen. I actually have to go into chat. Okay, so start, show chat, and there it is. It'll show my chat right here. Okay, but if I have that on, makes it easier. I don't have to open that every time to see what's going on. Profanity filter. This is something that you want to deal with yourself. If you want to see the bad words, you can turn it on. If you don't want to see them, turn it off. So it's your choice. Auto decline duels. Certain areas you're there. There are people are trying to duel with you all the time. You don't want to deal with it. Just put it on auto decline duels. This is under social. All right, the next one I'm going to show you is subtitles. Okay, this is good for a lot of things in combat. Like if you want to know, maybe they boss says rise from the dead and he brings all the things like back to life like this. If you're in combat, you may not hear that, but it'll pop up on your screen so you can actually see it. So that kind of helps out a lot when you're dealing with that kind of stuff. But when you're running around, just normal stuff, you might want to turn it off because you get a lot of stuff like this. If you look at my screen here, all of this stuff is said. Okay, so they just constantly talking. It pops up on your screen, kind of gets old, but it does have its benefit when you're fighting a boss. All right, the next one is music on or off. Do I want to hear the music all the time? If I'm doing a tutorial like I am right now, I have it on just so that you can hear it, but let's turn it off. Okay, now I can actually do the tutorial better. Let's say you're listening to music on a low volume on your headphones, but you still got the TV on and you still want to hear the sound effects. You can turn the music off. You still have your headphones on, but you can still hear the effects around. So turning off the music on and off, that's a personal option. Now these are all sounds, sound effects, and footsteps and stuff like that. These are all personal things that if you want to use them, you can. Now the master volume here, this will raise and lower the volume, all the effects and the music. The music volume, you can lower this down to where it's very low, where you almost don't hear it at all, to where it drowns everything else out. Okay. Ambience, the noises that you hear of the environment. Effects, this is like the game effects, like the when you're fighting a boss, something like that. The interface volume, this is for when you click, tick, tick, and you go back and forth. The dialogue volume, okay, this is when they talk. The footstep volume when you walk, and the voice, the player voice, that's self-explanatory. Okay, in this section here, we're in interface. Okay, this is display name, prefer gamer tag, or prefer character name. Most people prefer the gamer tag because that way you can actually see who's playing. So that way you don't have to remember every single name that comes up. If a person has multiple characters, you will always see the same name. Like this character, Video Game Tough Guy. Then I have another one named Dizzy Normus. So if I were running around and somebody knows me, they don't have to remember Dizzy Normus and Video Game Tough Guy. They just have to know that I'm Dave Alex. So it would just show Dave Alex every time. Okay, quick chat enabled. This will give you the chat down at the bottom or on the top of the head. So if I go in here and I do a chat, okay, it'll be the exact same thing. If I just say hello here. Okay, and I send it out. Now watch above my head, you'll see that it pops up. There it is. Okay, so that's the quick chat. That way you can see it without looking over to the side. If you have that chat menu off, you'll still be able to see this chat. So if you're in a group and you have the chat off on the right hand side of the screen, you will still see the quick chat. All right, so this is on yourself. So if you don't want to see the quick chat on yourself because you wrote the message, then you can turn it off. Now this will also show quick chat for only known players. So this will be in your group, your guild, anybody that you know, your friends list. Okay, it'll show up, but if they're not in the friends list, you will not see that bubble over their head if you select on. Okay, so keep it off. I would keep it off. That way you can always see what's going on. Maybe somebody's selling something and you don't have your chat enabled and you're standing right next to them and they say Mother Sorrow Lightning Staff 5K infused. Well, you definitely want to know that because you buy it and put it on the guild store for 75K, 100K, depending on the color. So that's something that you want to, it's kind of personal, but I would just leave it on all the time. Fade rate is how long it takes to go off the screen. So it'll show up and then it'll go off. Not really that important. Okay, so weapon indicator and armor indicator. Okay, the weapon indicator here will show a little red thing at the bottom. Kind of looks like a bow with a sword in it, so that you know that you have run out of your soul gem. That's actually really important so that you can always charge your weapon. Okay, and same thing for the armor. It'll look like a mask, kind of similar to the one that I'm wearing now. It'll show a little mask, red down at the bottom next to the potion box, the quick, I I don't even know what it's called. When you assign it to the quick menu, I guess is what it is, it'll be just to the left of that, and you actually see this icon that'll tell you that you need to charge your weapon or repair your gear. Very important this. And just in case you don't know how to do it, if I go under inventory and I find my weapon, so like my staff right here is almost out, so I just go to the main, then I hit Y because it's equipped, charge. Now if I have a soul gem in my bag, I can charge it immediately. Now if you don't have a soul gem, you're going to need to find a soul gem, have to buy some, kill a boss, something just to get a soul gem. Okay, and for the armor, you can either repair the armor by a merchant, or you can use a repair kit. Okay, I'm going to use a lesser repair kit just to do it, just so you can see. But you have repair kits, and you just, again, hit Y, repair, and then hit A again for repairing it, and it'll repair the armor. Now, sometimes there are kits that, the crown repair kits will repair all of your armor, and the regular repair kits will just repair that piece that you're selecting to repair. Not sure if I have a crown armor here. Let's see. Grand repair. No, I don't have one in this, but it'll repair all of your things. So you actually go into your supply menu, find the crown, hit it, and it'll repair all of your stuff. Alright guys, so the next one we're going to look at is going to be under gameplay, and we're going to look at the custom colors. Okay, so if I have a red color set for my enemy AoE or whatever, and I'm in an area where it's all red like this, okay, so if I apply that and I do a test, okay, it's visible, but if you're in there's an area where there's more lava around, you may not see that, okay, because it's too close to the color of the surrounding area. So if I change that to a different color, let's say we change it to a blue here, and then I test it again, that's much more visible. So that's one of the things that you need to take a look at, is when you're in a certain area and you have these things and that color, maybe it's close to a color of the ground where you are, maybe you're on a green grass and you have a green color set, you might want to change that for that area. It takes 2 seconds to change and it's not a problem. Now, friendly color, that's kind of a preference. Again, make sure that you pick a color that you know is a color. Usually I go with something like green, so I know that it's green means go, you know, something simple like that. So if I show that, it's very visible. You can see that, you know, that's a safe color to go. So when you're looking at the colors here, make sure you set it up to a color that doesn't mix into the background. You want to pick a color that you can easily see, and if you have to change it, change it. There's nothing that says that you have to keep that same color at all times. Alright guys, the next one we're going to look at is this one here. This is under gameplay, prevent attacking innocents. Okay, so if I have that on and I come over here and I try to, if you look up the top right of the screen, it says I can't do anything. Okay, because that is on. Now if I turn that off, okay, and I attack, well, now I have a bounty. Okay, so now I have an issue with the law. So that's going to be a problem. That bounty's huge. I'm not going to be able to play this character for a little bit here. But now I have this huge bounty. But if I had that on, I wouldn't be able to do that, and I would get no bounty. Now this does have a problem if you are doing certain things in the game, like using the Blade of Woe or something like that, that you have to. If you have prevent attacking on, you are not able to use that and move on through the game. Alright guys, I'm going to show you here the difference between loot manually and auto loot. So under options, okay, gameplay, we have auto loot, and then we have on or off. Okay, so if I come up to this guy right now and I select it, I have to select the items that I want. Okay, but if I put on auto loot, options, gameplay, turn it on, it automatically picks them up for me. Then they're showing on the left hand of my screen for what I have. Now this is good when you're in a dungeon and you're in a hurry and you don't want to sit there and sort through everything. It makes it a little bit quicker. If you have to do it manually, it takes a little more time. But if your bag's almost full, what do? You put it on manual and only select the items that you want. So it takes a little more time, but you get to select what you want. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is auto loot stolen. What this is if you were next to a container and you accidentally select it, and there's people around, if you put it on off, it won't steal the items automatically. You have to select them. But if you have it on, it'll steal them automatically, and then you get a bounty. So that's kind of a personal preference. You have to be really careful with that turned on because your bounty will get up really quick. Alright, so the next one is, turn that off, I don't want to deal with that. Auto add to craft bag. So this is when you have this on, it automatically puts in your ESO plus craft bag. If you have it off, it doesn't. So if I'm out collecting resources and I want to sell those resources, I will turn it off. If I want to keep them, I turn it on. By turning it off, it puts them in my normal bag, and then I can sell them easily. I don't have to go into my craft bag and try to find them and separate it. If you have a big craft bag like mine that's full of everything, it even takes you a couple minutes just to find what you're looking for, and then split the stack by how much you want. It's too much work. But if I have it on off, then I don't have to worry about that. I can just select the items out of my normal bag and sell them immediately. Okay, loot history, that's a little thing that'll show up on your screen on the left hand side. So if I come over here and I steal something from this bag over here, or this container, on the left hand side of my screen, I got ginseng out of it. Okay, so that shows me what I got. That works on everything. When you take a boss down, it automatically shows up on the left hand side. Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you have any other things in the menu that you want to learn about, please put a comment in the comment section. And if you like this video, please subscribe. We want to keep the channel going as long as possible. Without subs, it's kind of hard to keep the channel up and running. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video.